In this video, I'm going to go over how my first experience was with the XO Flo Cup. So if you're curious about that, stay tuned. Hello everyone, it's Red Herring. I hope you're having a great week. So I did start to spot 2 weeks after I ended my last blood fest. And I spotted for one day and then I was heavy all the way up until, well, yesterday I was still bleeding. Today I'm still bleeding. So I wasn't heavy these last 2 days, but the rest of my period was heavier than it had been for a long time. Anyhow, that gave me a chance to really get to use the XO Flo Cup and for a good amount of time since my period did last a while. Any websites, links, or discounts that I might have at this time will be in the description below. If you find anything interesting or helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share, and don't forget to subscribe. The first signs of blood I grabbed for my XO Flo Cup. I had already prepped it prior. And I brought it into the shower with me to give it a try. I tried 2 different folds with this menstrual cup. The C fold, which they mention in the instruction manual, and I did say in my unboxing that you are supposed to put your fingers on the X design, so one on each side of those X's here, and that's where you would fold this cup over. And they didn't really give an explanation on the pamphlet. I don't know if they mentioned it on the website. I didn't really look for it, but the only thing that I could think of was that it puts the air hole right in that pocket. So when you insert your cup, it still has this channel for air to go inside of the cup and help it to open up. Since I knew that your fingers were supposed to be on the X's, I of course wanted to do the opposite, and I did try to get this cup to insert and open while I was not holding on the X's, and I did find it harder to get it to open. I did get it to open, but it was a lot more fumbling, and that's one thing that I look for in a cup, is that it's not, that I don't have to fumble with it to get it open. One problem that I did have with the C fold is even if I placed my fingers on the XO design and folded it up, I would hold it right about in the middle. If I held it anywhere toward the back, it would open the point of insertion. So I had to open it, or hold it, I'm sorry, in the middle. And when I inserted the cup and released my fingers to reposition them, the back of this cup starts to open up, and then I have this big bulge that I'm trying to insert inside of me. And again, that didn't work, so I would have to remove the cup and fold it back up and reinsert it again. So after a couple of days of having to keep doing that, because this is not a norm for me, I felt like a newbie all over again with the menstrual cups, and you just don't have that habit of looking for certain markings on a cup, where to fold it. You just kind of fold it and insert it, right? So having this one, you just have to kind of reprogram your brain. I did find that if I was using the X's, placing my fingers where they needed to be, I would insert this cup, and instead of actually letting go of the cup, I would just kind of slide my fingers down to the base nearer to the stem, and then push it the rest of the way in so that it would open inside of me instead of halfway outside. The punch down fold seemed to be a lot easier for me, and I would still put that hole in the pocket, and then I would insert my cup, and you can grab in this area where the top rim is folded into the cup. You can pinch down on that and hold it way back here and insert it without having to let go of the base of the cup. So you can insert it all the way in, or almost all the way in, before this cup wants to open up. Although this is a bell-shaped cup, it is a quite long cup, And you can see here that I already cut 2 of the ball stem pieces off. Actually, I only cut 1 off. If you saw my unboxing video, I was pulling on the stem just to kind of be able to describe how far or how stretchy it was, and I wasn't even pulling very hard, but the very tip of the cup, or the very tip of the stem, that last ball, snapped off, and I was pretty upset about that. I don't want any of my cups just to break in my hands. If I was a new user to menstrual cups, that would really scare me if it was inserted and I tried to remove my cup or grab for my cup and that snapped off inside of me. Luckily, the rest of the cup feels nice and sturdy, so you know, it got those points back, but that still really sucks. So as I was saying, this is a bell-shaped cup, and usually bell-shaped cups with a flared rim ride up high and sit high for me. And I didn't find that to be the case with this cup. I think it's because it has that straight body, and the rim is actually on the inside and it doesn't flare or anything. And so it would pretty much sit where as high as I inserted this cup, and I could feel when that second ball was on here. Actually, I could still feel this ball certain times, like if I bear down in any way, laugh, sneeze, cough, sit a certain way, but I didn't want to take this last bead off. I usually don't like to cut off the stems. Since this is a fairly long cup, I don't know how it's going to work out for somebody with a low cervix. Although this cup only has 2 air holes, I didn't have any problems with it sealing around my cervix very tightly. I didn't have any issues removing it or getting the seal to break. One issue that I did have with this cup was that it consistently wanted to push my cervix to the side. I don't think it was missing my cervix. I really think that it was just kind of pushing it to the side. I have not had any other cups that really do that, like, consistently. This one, I would say 4 out of 5 times that I inserted it, I would always find my cervix on the outside of the cup, so it would be just like this. That is an issue for me because that just makes it something I have to fumble with a little bit more. That being said, there were 2 days that I did leak. One day I had to change my clothes twice, and that was in a short amount of time. I think in 3 hours I had to change my clothes twice, and it's been almost 3 years since I've leaked with a menstrual cup, so it was just not my week that week. I was very heavy. I could have overflowed the cup, but when I would remove the cup, the blood wasn't to the very top, and my cervix was really high this period, throughout the whole period. Like, I could hardly reach my cervix. I would have to bear down and push my hand kind of high, or, you know, against my body, apply pressure to be able to reach my cervix. So I don't think my cervix was sitting inside of the cup, filling up that capacity. I did leak on one night. I woke up in the morning and there was some blood. I'm glad that I was testing some period panties, or I would have bled all over my sheets. For the most part, this cup was comfortable after I got it inserted, but I still do feel like a new user. I don't feel like I'm a pro with this cup by any means. I think even though I used it for several days, I'll still have to try it again for another good period and see if it was just me, if I'm having an off month either with my cervix or just handling the cup. But because I'm doing all that fumbling around, trying to, repositioning my hand, making sure that the hole is in the pocket, my cervix getting pushed to the side, and just all of that. I wouldn't say it was one of my favorites right now, but I am going to give it another try for my next period just to see if anything changes. Well, that's all I have for you about the XO Flo Menstrual Cup. If I missed anything or if you had additional questions, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Also, leave me a comment down below if you picked one up and if you used it, if you're having any of those problems that I was having with this cup. I don't think they're having a sale anymore. I think the introductory price has ended, so the cup is back up to $35. I believe I got an email the other day that said something about free shipping, so you can check their Facebook or their website. So until I see you next time, take care.